Hi everyone, my name is James Rosile. This is Digital Charcuterie, and today, right now, is Manic Monday. Manic Monday is the overflow of questions we get in emails from our Casual Friday show, where you guys send in emails if you want to hear me talk about them. And I answer them, and I discuss the topics you want me to discuss about on Fridays. The last few weeks have been pretty amazing. You guys have been super supportive and sending a lot of emails, and so I've had to do this again on Monday because I like to keep the shows around 15 minutes long, not too much longer. Maybe in the future we'll extend that a little bit, go a little longer, but for now I like to keep it around 15 minutes. And also some of the topics, if you don't hear them on this show, you might hear on Super Tuesday, tomorrow on Tuesday, and of course Casual Friday. We might do special shows throughout the week as well, where we talk about some of the emails that we get from you. We did that last week for a few as well. So thanks so much, guys. Also, last Friday we were at 400 subscribers. Right now we were at 600 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. It's incredible. I can't tell you how much that means to me. The support is unbelievable. I've said it before. New on YouTube. When you're new YouTube channel, it is a little hard to gain some traction, but you guys have been there, and I absolutely love it and appreciate all of you coming out here. And when you do comment, I try to get to every comment that I can. Some of them, when the videos start doing high in the views and get a lot of comments, it's harder to get in, but I try to answer as many comments as I can. Some of those comments are later put to a video like this, and we'll see one today. So let's get right to the first email question, and this one comes from Ashley. Ashley says, "Hello, James, big fan, thank you. Curious your thoughts. Do you think Zack Snyder's Justice League would have done better at the box office?" Ashley, that is an interesting question, to say the least. I'm going to say maybe relatively better. I'm curious. The early reports were that it was an unwatchable film. I don't know what that means. They obviously did a lot of reshoots. They fired him. Well, reportedly fired him. Joss Whedon obviously came in after the tragedy in his family. Regardless, he had to step away. And Joss Whedon stepped in and did what he did. And you can tell, I'm not going to say I can sit here and point out every single scene that Joss Whedon was responsible for, but you can tell changes that were made by Warner Brothers and DC that were not Zack Snyder decisions. You can see that in the movie. It's obviously more playful, it's more colorful. There are times when you're like, wow, when did you, who shot this? You could tell it's not Snyder's vision of it. But I think ultimately this movie was not going to do well. Look, Wonder Woman did fantastic, whose Snyder's name is obviously on Wonder Woman. It did fantastic. And then, 5 months later, you have Justice League, a callback to Batman v Superman, which a lot of people, not me necessarily, because I actually enjoy it, but a lot of people cannot stand that movie. I have friends who were like, they just loathe it, and they're like, ugh, Batman v Superman. And then because of that, they're not going to bother with Justice League, knowing that Justice League is essentially a sequel to Batman v Superman. So because even though Wonder Woman's in it, it's not a direct sequel to Wonder Woman. It's more of a direct sequel to Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Justice being the prequel to Justice League. And that, I think, is what really hurt this movie. So maybe moderately, maybe a bit better opening weekend, but overall I can't see it doing much better if it's just Zack Snyder. I think the black Superman suit might have put some more butts in the seats, but I just can't see it. I want to say yes, I do, but we're never going to see the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. And if it's unwatchable, I don't know if I want to, because I'm happy with the extended version of Batman v Superman. I'm happy with Man of Steel, obviously. I've said that numerous times. So I don't know if this is something I want. Maybe if we see the Zack Snyder Justice League, we realize, maybe Warner Brothers made the right choice. Maybe that's what happened. But until we see that, we'll never know, and it'll always be a question, I guess, lingering in our minds. But I don't think Justice League was going to do well regardless, and it definitely did poorer than I think, especially when they rolled out. But this movie was all wrong. They rolled out trailers like 2 years early remember the comic. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic trailer, but it was like 2 years out. Like, okay, well, we were all just disappointed by Batman v Superman, so you want to get that stench out of our mouths, not mine, but out of our mouths, and you give us this amazing trailer, but people aren't caring because they saw what happened. And I think audiences are also getting wise to trailers, and that you can put together a great trailer to a shit movie, and people are figuring that out tenfold now. Like, people just know. You're like, oh, that trailer looked amazing. But if you know the movie that came out before it, you're not going to be so interested in seeing the next one. And I think that's kind of what happened with Justice League. So I hope that answers the question, because I love it. I want Justice League 2. We talked about that on Friday, but I don't think we're going to get any of that. All right, let's go on to our next question. This one comes from Jerry. Jerry writes, what did you think of Sci-Fi's Krypton? I thought it was pretty good. The Adam Strange plot twist and all was pretty cool. Thank you, Jerry. I actually just watched this Sunday, I want to say, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, it was better than I thought. I loved the Adam Strange thing. I'm not going to go into spoilers because I don't know who's seen it, and I might actually start covering it on this channel. I don't do a lot of TV, but this one I actually really enjoyed. I like the lore of Krypton, and the Adam Strange reference that he's referencing. It comes really early, actually, and it kind of sets up, what this story is going to be about, and it acknowledges Superman's existence in the future, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen the trailer, but Brainiac, and it was awesome, and the way they had Zods in there, and the House of L in there, and what the struggles that family's been going through, and this is all 200 years before Superman's time. So I actually really enjoyed Krypton. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you seen Krypton? Did you like it? Are you interested? I actually thought it was better than Gotham. I guess you can compare it to Gotham, but not really. I actually liked it quite a bit. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed Krypton. It felt like it fit into the DCEU, which I know they said it isn't, obviously, and it doesn't really matter. But it does. It visually kind of fits in with that, and I really enjoyed what they did with Krypton. I'm looking forward to the second episode. I hope my one thing with serious TV shows, serialized TV shows, is they go like this. And it's these ones that I struggle with, because there's always filler. It's like, I don't know how many episodes there are. I think it's 13. Was it 13? It won't be a lot, which is gonna be beneficial to it. Because usually when they're 23, 24 episodes, there's like a whole chunk in the middle when you're like, oh god, I gotta get past this. But for now, I'm really on board with Krypton. Like I said, I'm hopefully going to be looking to cover it more on this channel right here. Thanks a lot, Jerry. Let's go on to our next question. Comes from Dennis. Dennis says, hi James, love all the hard work you put into these videos. Thank you very much, Dennis. Was wondering if you think Kathleen Kennedy hates the long-time diehard Star Wars fans. Thanks, and keep it up, Dennis. This was one that I got, and I've been asked this a bunch of times at the Rebel Scum podcast channel, and I was debating on answering this one. I actually was, because I feel like I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't, no matter what you say towards the Kathleen Kennedy thing. And and there's a whole thing, the Force is female, and a lot of people got very angry at that for whatever reason. I don't know. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the agenda that she supposedly has, and how it's evident and prevalent in The Last Jedi. And for me, I don't necessarily see that in The Last Jedi. And I think characters like Holdo and Rose, if you don't like Holdo and Rose, you wouldn't have liked them if they were written as men or women. That's my problem with Holdo and Rose. I actually didn't mind Holdo. Rose is a character that I'm actually not big on at all. I don't care for Rose. I mean, if she shows up in Episode 9, I'm fine, but it's not like Lando in Empire Strikes Back, where I'm like, well, Lando's pretty awesome. She doesn't have that. She's missing something, and you could tell that she's forced into the story. And I will say, in all of this, Rian Johnson said originally it was going to be Finn and Poe going on that adventure on Canto Bight, and he said that it was boring with the two of them. And I say he's full of shit on that. Like, he's completely full of shit on that, because Finn and Poe have a rapport. It is an excellent rapport. Boyega is, he did an interview where he talked about a love interest, and he was like Finn, and he wanted Finn and Rey, and he was like, or Finn and Rose, or Finn and Poe. He's like, Finn just has a nice relationship with everybody, and I think that really speaks to Boyega a lot as well. And I think his chemistry with the other actors in these films is excellent. I think he could have pulled it off with Poe, and I think Poe, because we have an established friendship with him, they could have been a lot more playful. So I'm going to call bullshit on that. But as far as Kathleen Kennedy hating Star Wars fans, I'm going to say, and don't get too mad at me, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, look, she took over a Lucasfilm. George Lucas handpicked her. And look, Kathleen Kennedy is a big player in Hollywood for a long time. You might not know what she's done. I might not know everything she's done. But if you just, Steven Spielberg, I think around the Oscars or Sundance or something, he was talking in an interview, and he said, that when he was making E.T., he was a dick. He was a giant dick to his crew. And Kathleen Kennedy pulled him aside, basically slapped him in the face, and she said, "Stop being an ass or you're going to drown." And he said that was one of the most important experiences that he's had, was that moment with Kathleen Kennedy. And she worked her way up from an assistant to now being the head of Lucasfilm. And she's not perfect. There are a lot of faults, and I've talked about the faults at Lucasfilm. The connectivity between the everything that we've been told, the continuity between the movies themselves is a problem. But look, Rogue One, I actually really love Rogue One. I think it's a great movie. The Force Awakens, I liked The Force Awakens. It brought us back to Star Wars from 40 years ago. But part of that was, look, there was a prequel stench in the air. And I love the prequels. I'm a prequelist, as they say. The Phantom Menace is one of my favorite Star Wars films. And Attack of the Clones is the one I watch the most. And I obviously love Revenge of the Sith because it's awesome. But people hated those movies. They made less and less at the box office. Well, actually, Sith didn't, but you know what I mean. Like they didn't make $1 billion like the new ones are. So Kathleen Kennedy took it. She hired J.J. Abrams, and basically the game plan was, we have to bring people back to the Star Wars that they remember, that they enjoy. We have to get rid of the stench of the prequels. Now, yes, a lot of the kids are grown up. They're a lot older now, and they appreciate and they love those prequels. But they had to go back and do that. That's what they had to do. I always said this, that Lucasfilm, Disney was stuck in this mindset of, well, not a mindset. This is what they were stuck with. They buy Star Wars for $4 billion. The smart thing to do is to tell a story with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. But the hard thing to do is tell us a story with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, because you have to appease all of the fans that you have out there. And that's going to be the hardest thing, because everybody's kind of got their own idea of what happened to these characters down the road. Plus, we've read books in Legends. Now, I don't think that stopping the Legends books and saying that they are not canon was a bad move. I think that was a smart move. You're going to go ahead, tell new stories. Awesome, do it. Leland Chi came out and he said Chewbacca was dead. We can't have episode 7 without Chewbacca. So look, these were decisions that were made, and I think it was the right decision. Now, I do think, and I said this on an episode of Rebels Come podcast recently, that I think they should still be writing Legends books. I think we should still hear about Mara Jade. We should still hear about Yuzong Vong. All that stuff should still be going on. We should have like good stories like that don't matter. Like the beginning of the Last Jedi novelization is basically a Legends novel. It's basically a Legends book. We hear Luke Skywalker in this life that he could have, would have, should have had, and that's basically what I'm saying. Is those could still continue, and and I'm fine with Shadows of the Empire, which I love, not existing in the movie universe, because for me it was separate anyway. I was able to separate what I read and whatnot. But then you come out and you tell me that all these books now are going to be connected, and I start reading the books and they are not connected. Then I get like, well, why am I wasting my money on this if it's not going to connect? And that's my problem with that. So I just think that they were trying really hard to go back to a time that satisfied fans, but they lost time, because in between Sith and Force Awakens is 10 years, and in those 10 years, the 5-year-olds are now 15-year-olds, the 10-year-olds are now 20-year-olds, and they lost that. And so these kids that grew up with the prequels, that love the prequels, now are getting something else. And then on top of it, I don't always consider Force Awakens a reboot, but a lot of people do. They consider it a rehash, and I think that was a mistake. I think Starkiller Base on everything was a mistake, and then The Last Jedi doesn't enhance the Rey character whatsoever. Finn takes a step back. Poe, I think, is elevated a bit. But those are the problems. So I don't think she hates Star Wars. I think whether you like The Last Jedi or not, I think they tried something. She hired Rian Johnson to make a movie. Rian Johnson made the movie he wanted to make. They all believed in it, and now the fan base is split right down the middle. Or maybe not. Who knows? There's so many conflicting reports of who's split and what's split, and the Rotten Tomatoes score is blah, it's fake or it's real, and everyone hates it, but critics love it because blah. And I'm not really sure where to go on this. I like The Last Jedi. I do not love The Last Jedi, but I like it. It has a lot of faults and problems, which a lot of films do, and I think there are a few solid instances in that movie that, had they been corrected and taken out, that The Last Jedi could be one of the best Star Wars films today. I think Rian Johnson was hired to make the Star Wars movie. Like I said, Kathleen Kennedy had faith in him, and I think the reason she had faith in him is she's been in this industry for so long, and she can see a filmmaker with a vision, and Rian Johnson had a vision. For better or worse, he had a vision, and he stuck to that vision. And he made the team around him accept his vision and slowly but surely make them believe in his vision. Some of them, if you've seen the director and the Jedi documentary, you know that some of them were not on board with what he wanted whatsoever. Listen to the commentary, you know some of them were not on board whatsoever. But Kathleen Kennedy hired this guy who had a vision. He pitched the movie to her, obviously. She was like, okay, fine. And if you don't like the movie, you can fault Kathleen Kennedy on that. But again, this is coming back to, does she hate the fans? I don't think so. I mean, I was at Star Wars Celebration. Rian Johnson loved the fans. Kathleen Kennedy embraced the fans. And I think, you know, for better or worse, they made a misstep. And I think, look, she goes out. Who does she hire? The Game of Thrones showrunners. Brilliant move. They run TV. The Star Wars universe should run like episodic TV shows in a lot of ways, or serialized TV shows, I should say. If it's a saga, if they're going to make 9 movies, you want one person, and this is obviously the problem with the sequel trilogy, is you want 9 people to oversee this entire series, and that's what she's done. And then she goes on and she gets Jon Favreau to do the live-action TV show, who started Iron Man, who started the MCU. He did Iron Man 2. He was a producer on the Avengers. He knows what's going on there. He also knows a lot with CG, with what he's doing with The Lion King and with what he did with The Jungle Book. Then, I mean, before all this, there's that Lord and Miller fiasco, and, you know, you can shake your head at that, but I think, look, it came late, but she made the right move, and the reports that are coming in now are making it clear that she made the right move. And now she's saying, you know what, no more bullshit directors coming in here. I want, you know, the proven individuals, male or female on this one, because, you know, but I want the proven individuals to come in and do the best job. Who is the best person for this job? And that's what I think she's doing. Who's the best person for the job? And if they fail, they fail. And look, she's going to take a hit, and they're going to take a hit, and that's just what's going to happen. And The Last Jedi, you know, comes out on Blu-ray, I think, tomorrow. And we'll see how that does overall. Solo's going to take a hit. We all know it's going to take a hit. They know it's going to take a hit. We'll see what that does. Apparently, the rumor is it's looking really good. People are really enjoying it. So we'll see. I mean, so far, I would say The Force Awakens is a good movie. Rogue One is a good movie. And The Last Jedi is a mixed bag. I like The Last Jedi, but I'm talking as like an overall, you know, as fandom as a whole. I think, look, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And 3 out of 3 made $1 billion. And that isn't easy. I mean, it's not as hard as it used to be, but it's not as easy. So that's where I am. I don't think she hates the fans. I think, you know, she, right off the ground, Disney was like, we're going to do the MCU and Star Wars. And she's not Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige wasn't Kevin Feige when he started in the business. And not that she just started, obviously, but Kevin Feige, don't forget, he produced Marvel. He produced Spider-Man, Blade, all these movies. He worked his way up to a point where he said, okay, now we can do it. And even when they did it in Iron Man, they didn't know they were doing it. That Samuel L. Jackson scene was an afterthought. It was something that he begged Favreau to put in. Favreau said no. And that's how end credit scenes happen in the MCU. And that's it. So I don't think she hates the fans. I think she's understanding what's going on. I do think she's trying to get new fans. And I don't think we should see that that's a problem. I mean, you know, people are coming up, and we also need to adapt. How much we adapt is another question. There's some things in The Last Jedi that I do not want to adapt to, obviously. And we'll just see. I think we should wait. I think J.J. Abrams was the smartest decision to make for 9. I think he knows how to make a blockbuster. He knows how to make people happy. He knows how. He's got that nostalgia factor, Super 8 nostalgia. You know, he's able to take us. I mean, Force Awakens is all nostalgia. If that movie is not nostalgic, we probably are just like, well, I just watched The New Hope again. And that's how it is. So, no, I'm going to say she does not hate fans. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Be civil about this, please, because I don't want to read nonsense on either side. Because, look, it's a touchy subject. People are mad. People love Star Wars. So people love Star Wars so much that when they feel let down by it, it's almost like, you know, a girlfriend or boyfriend broke up with them, and they take it very emotional. And that's what's happening right now with a lot of people with The Last Jedi, is they go in with the biggest smile and they came out like heartbroken in a sense. And it's going to take some time for them to get healed. And I think they know that, though. I think they know. I honestly do. I do. All right, thanks so much for your question. Let's go into our final question today. And this one comes from Rachel. Hi, James. I'm anxiously awaiting Infinity War like everyone else, but I am also excited for Ready Player One. I know you've said it isn't tracking well, but do you think there is any chance it will recoup its budget? Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. I am going to go see this movie on Wednesday. I'll be doing a review of it, hopefully as soon as I am home from the theater, or in the car, maybe, but probably home from the theater. I'm looking forward to it. I love the book. The trailers, like I've said, have not blown me away, but the newest trailer, the last trailer, I really, really enjoyed. I'm curious to see how this goes, how Spielberg works it in, if it has the 80s vibe. Speaking of J.J. Abrams, the 80s nostalgia vibe. I know I heard the soundtrack's really big, but the budget is tracking at $35 million, and it cost almost $200 million to make. And then on top of that, your marketing and blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to be really, really difficult for it to recoup. I think it has to do very well overseas. It has to do very well in China. But Tomb Raider was racking it up overseas. It is just, and Pacific Rim as well. So it'll be. I'm curious to see what other countries, how they respond to Ready Player One, because in this country we haven't been, well, in North America we haven't been going to the movies the last few weeks. I mean, yeah, Black Panther, but even Black Panther, relatively, like, it was making a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not, but you know, it's making $25 million, number one movie. Well, $25 million is great for a movie that's been out for 4 or 5 weeks. But where's the number one movie? Shouldn't it be $25 million? It should be higher than that, and that's what we've been living in right now. And Ready Player One's going to come out. It's going to make around $35 million. Hopefully, it doesn't make any lower than that. It's not going to make as money here. You got to bank on overseas, on China and the other markets, because if it doesn't latch over there, then I think they're going to be looking at damages on their hands. So you better pre-order your copy of it on Blu-ray and whatnot right now. And buy tickets to go see it in the theater. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't say go see it. It's a great movie, but I'm gonna take a chance. Got my ticket for Wednesday. I'll be going Wednesday evening. I think it's one of the first showings that it was the first showing I could get for it. So we're gonna go and watch that one. I'll let you guys know what I think after I'm done watching Ready Player One. So there we go. That is Manic Monday for this Monday, the last Monday of March. Actually, it's Good Friday. This Friday we have a casual Friday. Got some emails coming in. Thank you so much. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of all of that in the comments below. Zack Snyder's Justice League would have made more money in the box office. Yes, no, what do you think? I don't know. Krypton TV show, have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think? You're going to keep watching it? Kathleen Kennedy, does she hate the fans? Civil on that one, guys. And Ready Player One, will it recoup its budget? You're going to go see it this weekend? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It really means a lot to me. And until next time, ciao for now.